Welcome back. Sports Marketing, Chapter 12. We're going to be talking about pricing, concept, and strategies. Remember, some of you already had marketing. This is just an extension, focusing more on the sports element. Make sure you read the book, do your discussion board. Most of you are taking me on, some of you are taking me on online class, face-to-face class, or a blended class. And some of you just happen to stumble along on me on YouTube. So enjoy. You will this session I'm doing now is I take it on. We've been doing this for a while. We only got one more chapter left to do. Focus, read the book, print out my concept maps. They're available, when you sign up for my courses or in the course management system we're utilizing, and you should do good. Okay, so let's talk about. Let's go into chapter 12. Remember, I'm going to try to keep these under 12 minutes, underneath a half an hour. A lot of students like looking at this prior to reading the chapter, so they have a kind of I see the whole picture. Others, after they read the chapters, looked at the YouTubes and the recordings by the publishers, discussed the concepts in our discussion board, and now they want a quick summarization to make sure they didn't miss anything. Okay, so let's go into pricing concepts. Now, right now, remember, there's more in the book, a lot of information. I'm just giving you the high level view, what you should know if somebody says, hey, what's pricing in sports? Well, what are some of the concepts or the strategies for pricing your product as a sports marketer? Okay, so let's look at pricing concepts overall. Now I'm going to make this, excuse me, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. It's 150, I'll make it 200, then I'll bring it back down. I know some people like looking at this to study for my exams. You could sign up for this course at your local community college, or you're taking this at a four-year university. Overall, it's a general overview. Okay, so pricing concept. As it says, pricing. What does pricing mean? All pricing basically is what you think is the value of a certain product compared to another value of a product. How do I utilize my hard-earned disposable income to purchase something? I want to get the best value. Okay, so how do I know it? Remember, from a consumer perspective, that we've learned from the author and we've learned from other courses you've even taken myself or other instructors, is that pricing from a consumer perspective is a gauge of how the quality of the product. Where when you're looking at business to business that we discussed earlier, if you're doing it for the sponsorship, pricing has a little bit different aspect because they're utilizing it either to stimulate their product, brand awareness, or other things. So pricing may not be exactly the main driver for a business to business. It is down the road. By quantity, I expect a better price. All right, so far so good. Okay, now when I talk about value, remember we talked about the four P's and everything else about value, promotion, and pricing, and everything else. Value is what I perceive. Some value is leather is valuable more than plastic to some individuals. So value is my perception that this product has value. Some of it could be tangible value. I could feel it's made very well. Others could be intangible. I just feel good about this product. I don't know why, but I could relate to the company. I could relate to the celebrities that are utilizing this product. I could relate to the message. All right, so so there's some intrinsic. I can't touch it. I just know it's a good product. Okay. Now, value is basically perceived benefit. And this is where sports marketing comes in. How do I present my product that it shows the value and it gives me the pricing? So when I'm coming up with an idea, how much should I price my product? You have to look at it. How will the consumer look at that pricing, and will it equate not only tangible benefits but intangible benefits? Essence is exchange process, attempt to qualify what is being exchanged. I'll throw this in just in case you see it in an exam with the more formal. Remember, those of you taking me in my class, I'm live, I don't record. I mean, I don't record, I do record. I do very little editing. I want you not only to pass my course, but I want you to have this embedded inside of you. I understand this, okay? So the perceived benefits of a product is what does it do for the user, based on tangible, and we already discussed that. So you've got that the author's definition, or what you would call the basic definition, where you're using this author that I'm utilizing, making you read, or another author. It's similar. I'm not going to change it much, okay? And then basically, here's a figure of value for franchises since we're on there. Yankees in millions, 2,500 millions. Red Sox, Dodgers. Let's see, do they got the Chicago Bears on here? Nope, we're not up in the thing since we're in the Chicago area. Redskins, National Football League, National Basketball League. So the Bulls are on there. 100,000 million. Hey, that's great, man. You know what I mean? So there's money involved, and this is a 2-year change. And then when you're looking at, when you're looking at pricing, you're looking at, remember, a baseline, and you're seeing how much it's changing. And you're not only looking to change the price because maybe my expenses went up or anything else, but you're also looking at, later on we're going to talk about price sensitivity and elasticity. So hang on. What I mean, I'm going to talk about. We may talk about it if you're reading it from the beginning, or we already discussed it and now you know what it is. All right, so that's just a quick chart to see that there's a lot of money involved in this. Okay, now sugar. I guess I had that. Sorry. Most valuable team. Now remember, I'm not going to click on the link because sometimes I get messed up on here. But look at the link. The author provides excellent links. Man, this is good. If I'm going to sports marketing and I tell people whether you're looking at here, look it up. And this one with the F is from Forbes. What's the article about it? It gives you credibility when you're trying to present it. You link it. Here's what Forbes. Here's what some other outside external forces are stating, similar to what I am. All right. So now we're going to talk about internal, external determinants on pricing. Internally, I have to make a profit. Externally, I want to have some enjoyment at a fair cost and a value for my disposable income, extra capital. Okay. Remember, I'm going for that disposable income. Okay. Hang on a second. I got the phone going. All right, what do we have here? Okay. Okay, now I've got a chart here, and if I'm looking at the pricing. Oh, not available. It should have kicked it. I don't know if it picked it up or not. All right, so if I'm looking at that, hang on a second. Okay. I get upset with the non-available. If you can't put your name in marketing, I don't answer the phones a lot of times. And let's just throw that in since I did have a distraction here talking about pricing. When you're trying to get information from a consumer and you're representing a company, if you do not put your name on there, that tells me, hey, you could be a scammer. Now, just to understand, a lot of mobile phones does not give you do not give you the ability to show the name of your company unless you pay a little extra for it. So I understand that. When I see the V or something else, I know it's from a mobile phone. All right? And then I may talk to you because you're coming in my time now. All right, so internal factors. You're looking at the product. I'm looking at the promotion, the distribution. I'm looking at the cost. I'm looking at the organizational behavior. Something, okay, inside. What's the product, the cost, right? It's internal. I control that. I have to make a profit, even when I'm doing penetration. So when you're looking at pricing, do I price my product or service higher? And it depends. We discussed about Nike and some of the other ones. People already know it's a higher end product. It's going to cost me a little bit more. So when I'm bringing in a new innovative product, I price it so it fits into that brand. Okay? Now you have to look at, all right, are we good? But I have to still make a profit. So the question that you have to look at yourself, should I come in at a lower price to get more people coming in? That's the minor leagues. Or should I stay at a higher price because it's a better product, for lack of better words, more in tune, more competitive, whatever you want to say. I'm not trying to say, I'm just trying to, so you understand what's going on here. All right? If I price it low, I get more people coming in. But then when I raise but so they say, hey, it's not as high as the major leagues. I understand that. Like if you buy a generic product or a private label product versus a name brand. I remember we talked before, some of the private label products are basically made by, what do you call it, by the major brands. It's just a break-even point. They only can sell so much underneath the brand name, and now they're still making money, but they reduce their prices to business, okay? Now, external factors. Oh, back in my train of thought, sorry. When I'm looking, if I price it low, It already sets the standard for what consumers think the price of that service, value, or sports worth. Now, if I raise the price, I'm going to have a lot of negative feeling towards it because it's like, man, they're raising prices. Now, the other way to do it is you come in with a higher price, which already sets you in that higher quality, better value. Remember, perception, consumer. Price is equating to perceived benefit. It already puts you up at that value. And now, how do I get customers in instead of lowering it? I give them discounts. I give them promotion. I give them incentives. So I reduce the price to them, discount it down, so then they come in. That's what Groupon does. Discounts it down. I come in. I like this, and I'll come back again at a fair price. So now they get the value, and they even get a better feeling because hey, look, the ticket cost me $75, but because I listen to this radio station, and they either give it to me for free, or they reduce it if you use their station's what do you call it, logo, name, or sign on, whatever, and now you feel good. I got a $75 ticket for $25. How can I go wrong? Okay, good. All right. So now future pricing again. This one's with Forbes. They talk about what's going on. Let's see if it kind of works. I throw it on there so to force people to look at it. And this would be nice. Remember, try to do it. If you don't have any room to fail, you don't grow. That makes sense. Not that you're going to fail my exams. You're doing well. Okay, let me just open this up here. Okay, so what do we have here underneath Forbes? I got a few minutes. Forbes quote of the day. Continue to the site. Now, when you go on Forbes, sometimes remember because this book was the author was using it a couple of years ago. New York meets revenue. New York Mets revenue at city expected to barely increase for years. Remember, very price sensitive. You go too much, especially when the economy wasn't doing poorly. You don't have disposable income. People are out. They still want to have a good time, but they're going, oh man, I could use the money for something else. So they won't write. It's not only in the sports entertainment, it was all across the board. Now that the economy is going up, whether you like the administration or not, there is a positive movement of the economy. People are going to say, I've been, I've been watching my money. I want to splurge once in a while, and this still fits in my disposable income for the family. So the prices hasn't changed, and they could say that, hey, now what? Now the external, the internal. If I don't raise my prices, and inflation rate goes up, this is all part of the author that you're reading. What happened? I can't get the best talent because they're not paying. But I could get the best talent, even keep my prices low if I fill the stadiums, because that's where my revenues come in. That's one aspect of revenue in sports marketing. You don't want selling the brand name, selling the goods, selling the product, services, all this other stuff that we've read already about, sponsorship, all this. This is all tied in here. Okay? All right. So now you know the site. Read it on it. You have all the information on here. And Forbes is a nice, credible site. Okay? May not be academic, but it's pretty credible for in the business. It gives me a feeling, gives me an understanding. Okay, and then this one here, what did I have on here? And this one, basically, when you look at the author, it just looked at the cost index per fan, which was kind of interesting. All right, now price competition. You have to look at what your competitors are doing. Now you look at it and say, okay, what do we have? I got football, so there's only the Chicago Bears here. So you're looking at other stadiums, everything else, but you're looking at what is a substitute. If if the NFL took a hit with the kneeling and all that, I'm not taking a political stand. Remember, my whole thing in marketing, and that I stress, businesses should not be involved in politics at all, because you're going to upset a certain area. Some businesses are. I got a small private business. I don't have shareholders, or I'm an environmentalist. I'm not trying to say that, but majority of business, I love them both because if what we found out that they give to both campaigns. I think what happened last thing that they thought the Democrats were winning, they weren't giving anything to the Republican, which kind of was kind of flipped the coin around. So now people are saying, we don't know who's going to win the next election, but I give 50% to Democrats, I give 50% to Republican, I may get 25% to Independent because he or she has and that's behind. That's what the company's doing. It's nonprofit, social responsibility. They don't advertise that. They try not to advertise that. Don't get involved. Don't get caught into that. I have to make a political statement. Hurts your bottom line. I'm business. Remember, I'm not here. This is not an ethics class, anything else. I'm strictly business, trying to, as a sports marketer, convince my organization, when I'm proud of, lead to stay out of the politics. All right, so you got that. Okay, so non-price competition. What's non-price? It's defining unique sports product through packaging, product design, promotion, distribution, any marketing variable other than price. How's the package look, location, where it's at, what does it do? Okay. Now, price competition strategy primarily stimulate consumer demand by offering consumers lower price. When I'm looking at this, I'm trying to get you to go leave your competitor and see another venue product to try it out. That's what we did when we did the last thing when we were looking at the different promotions. How do I convince someone to come over and try my product? Through promotions, through campaigns, through celebrity, indoor, whatever. I just want them to try. Doesn't mean they'll like it. If I got a good product, it'll sell itself. But you have to try it. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I tried them. That's not too bad. Man, I can't tell the difference. Maybe this one's a little bit cheaper, or maybe this one gives me some different options that the other one didn't have. Marketing. This part, for some of you, this may be the only marketing class you take, but take the regular traditional marketing, the advertising, the promotion, the personal selling. All that ties into public relations. All that is underneath the integrated marketing campaign. You may be an expert in one area, but you have to understand the different components when you're coming up with a strategy. All right? Now, what are organizational objectives? When I look at bottom line, I'm going to make some money. I'm not in business to make money. You don't go to work because I love to work. I mean, some people do. Because I found employees that they don't need to work, but they got nothing else to do, and so they come and they frustrate your manager, or they come out there and want to give. Okay, but basically it's income. You're going to the job, you want to get promoted, you want to get the raise, you want to be paid fairly for the value you're providing to your employer or whoever you're working with. And it could be a nonprofit organization. Why do you do that? You go in there to help them out, and then there's a price. You may not have the money, but you have the time. And how much is the time worth? And I think the government does that on your taxes also. Okay, so you got the income, you got sales objectives, bring people in, make money. Look, when I teach the finance, those of you who may take me for finance, when I'm teaching finance and the stocks are down, how are you going to bring the stocks up? Again, the stocks are already at bottom down. They're already junk stocks, or dollar stocks, or penny stocks, for lack of a better word. Not there, but they're declining. How do I bring it up? They're declining because customers ain't shopping there. They're declining because of public relation. They're declining because you took a political stand and you didn't realize that your political stand, sure, was very well for small minority, but not the larger group of your base that basically brings in your income as automatic because they love the brand, and now you upset them. And it doesn't have to be political. It could be something you did. It could be something you said. It could be something that one of your executives said. And then all of a sudden you have to protect the brand. The brand is everything else in marketing, especially at this level in sports marketing. Protect the brand. I was going to say at all costs, but yeah, a reasonable cost. If you messed up, hey, I'm sorry, I messed up. I fired him. I fired her. It just a slip. Please forgive me. Here's some free tickets. Oh, free tickets. Okay, we forgive you. Marketing, promotion. How do I get out of it? Okay. Now, competition. You lower your prices. Will the competitor lower their prices? Depends. Remember, and then how low are you going to keep your prices? You have to increase them eventually. So look at that. That's the thing. Social concern. Again, if I'm in an area and I raise my prices way too high, and it's a fear with the Cubs. We talked about. Let's talk about this. I go to Cubs. Everything else will price. Now the Cubs did a renovation. The Cubs are doing that whole thing out there where you have the bars and everything else. That whole area, Wrigley Field area, for lack of better words, is being redeveloped. Good stimulus. Prices going up, rent's going up. Very good. The economy's going up. People are getting jobs. Who's going to pay for it? Now I raise my prices to recoup my investment because my shareholders, for a bottom line, want to make a profit. They want to see some dividends. They understand 1, 2 years, okay, you're going through construction, you're flatlining, now I'm going to raise it. Now do you raise it so much, you raise it that high that the local people in that area that are basically the ones that are going to say, hey, you can park at nighttime here. Hey, we love the Cubs here. We like the stadium. It's good. Now they're upset because they can't go watch it. It's like, Here's this big stadium, but me as a neighbor can't afford. Now, look, if your prices are higher, you may give some kind of discount. If you live in the zip code, your driver's license, you've got an appreciation day, or you send out a mailer. You're in here, you get a 10% discount to offset that. That's where I'm looking at the social concern. All right, and you also looked about different social concerns and everything else on there. Social responsibility, for lack of a better word. Okay, so look at our chart, and if I'm looking at the average chart, let's look at this. I think this is kind of interesting. Prices. See how you could afford. Okay, Patriots average ticket price 117. That's one person. I bring a family in. That's almost $500. For some people, that's their whole income for a week. But it may be on that special day. Dad really likes that. My mom really likes that. My friend, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, they really like that. Yeah, all right. Okay, New York Yankees. Where the heck are the Chicago Bears? We're not that bad. We're 100. We're not in the middle. We're 103, and we discussed that in class. It was very interesting. Denver Broncos 84. See, I wish I would have had a chart. I didn't have a chance, but next time I'll put a chart in for the baseball. For the Cubs and the Sox, and see what the price. What would be a nice project for you to looking at. Look at those of you researching are going to do some more in-depth looking at that or for discussion board. And I may bring that up. I think this is what I'm going to do. See, I always come up with what do I do for our discussion boards. And this one I'm going to say, I want you to track the pricing increase from the Chicago Sox when they did the renovation and came up with the new stadium, and the Chicago Cubs. What was it back then? What is it now? And then look at the area and say, what demographic do you think could afford the prices here, either season tickets or and good seats, not all the way in the bleachers in the back, someplace good. What target market am I trying to bring in? And you still remember you could have and again the way the stadium's set up, the good ones pay more as you go further away, but that's not even a disadvantage anymore because you've got those big televisions, high definition screen. I see everything. I could, if you're in there a lot of times with the Wi-Fi, if I'm mistaken, you could do it to see it right there while you're in there. You could look at it at the game. No, but that's not like that. I could stay home and watch it. Correct. But I'm not there at the field. What else? My kids could go play in the game, especially those who go to the Sox stadium. They can have fun. They don't even watch the game. I can enjoy it. My wife, my friends, or whatever. You could do a lot. You could go there, and you can still see everything else going. You're with that action, the crowd, the people, that momentum. You see, that's what makes people come into the stadium. That's just adrenaline run. Okay, so we're good on that. All right, and how much is that worth? Remember, I'm into pricing here. All right, so let's go on to the next. I'll close this off. This nice chart. I'll have that next time. Okay, now relationship price to other marketing mix. Remember we talked about the marketing mix creates a product lifestyle. We talked about the product, the auto talk lifestyle product. Introduction, a minor league. You have to lower prices, and then as to become major league. And sometimes a minor league. Let's look at minor league. You can still say minor league because it's more family oriented now because that's what families can afford. The major every once in a while. But now where do I get my what do you call it, teams or my players, for lack of a better word? I get them from minor league. At the minor league, do you expect so much pay? Now I'm at the majors. Get promoted. I want a little more cash. Are we good? Okay, so you're looking at that, all right. Communicate something about the product. Remember, we talked about that, the quality, and that could be the price, promotion, location, everything else. Promotion geared towards information about the price. Why are you paying so much? We just renovated. You have larger seats. You have a screen. You have things for your family. We got daycare. We got a dog care. I don't know. I'll just throw that out. All those are added value to why I'm getting that price. Okay, and then when we talked about product lines and product mixes, so when I'm looking at product, different prices attract different segment. So if I'm looking at product line, okay, in sports, different product line. But within the stadium, again, different seating, different product lines. You have the bleachers here much. You've got the skybox. Woo! Skybox. Those of you who have ever been to skybox, you're a corporation. I've been to the skybox a lot, bring clients in there. Man, that is the way to go to the game. Even though I'm not really watching the game because I could see everything. You got the screen in there. They bring me hors d'oeuvres. I mean, it's air conditioned, no bugs, no nothing. I'm doing a business. I'm enjoying the game, being there, but I'm protected from the elements, for lack of a better word. But I pay a lot. company pays a lot. They want those skyboxes. They buy the skyboxes not sometimes for an employee for reward, but basically as a part of business to get people to relax. Not that they find information, it's just to build that relationship. Remember, it's all marketing, PR, public relations. How do I bring them in? Okay, now external factors. Again, we're going to talk consumer demand. What are consumers willing to pay? We're going to talk about electricity, estimate. We discussed all that. So if I'm looking at that right here, price inelastic, it moves. Sales just move. It doesn't make a difference. I could save the price. I could raise it. It just goes this way. Elastic, basically, it goes with the price. It goes up and down. Quantity, unitary, basically, it's more of a, if I look at the what you call your competitive price that we talked about, that your supply and your demand. You know, talking about supply is basically from a business perspective. Demand is basically my consumer and that equilibrium price. Remember, you'll have another line in here. Oops, sorry, you can't see my hand. You'll have another line in here. Just quick general. Look at the book if you don't understand. I'm just giving you a thing. The graphs is nice visuals on here. All right. Okay. So what about my competition? And when I'm looking at competition, when I'm upset with the NFL, where did I go? I went to soccer. What else happens in the winter? I got hockey. You know what I'm talking about? And now I'm all of a sudden a hockey fan. Hey, I kind of like this. You know what I mean? It's not too bad. Yay. I may not understand all the rules, but I'll pick it up. I'm learning. I may come back to the thing. See what happens this season. Or not this season. This season when it comes on. What's going to happen? Big indicator. Did you learn from your last? You're going to have the same narrative? I don't think so. I think it's going to change. I think there's more going on. There's a lot of stuff going on, changing. You know, after a while, most consumers, okay, you already made your point. Yeah, we're tired of this. Let's go. Move on. I'm talking about Americans. Okay, now legal issues. What are legal issues? Do I have to price it so much to eliminate somebody else's? Am I price fixing because I'm looking at my competitors? What's the economy doing? We talked about this. Technology. Technology is coming in there. You remember? I don't have to come in a game. I can watch it at home. And when I say watch it at home, why did the movie industry drop? I mean, you know, it has nothing to do. I just want to do something so you could relate real quickly. Why do people don't go to movies anymore? I could go home. I got a big definition. I got stereo system, boss, everything else. I could sit here, relax. I see just as good as I do at the show. So what did I do? I went to the show, took my grandson in there. They bring the popcorn to you. Do you have the seats that roll back? I could put my feet. I think I am at home. They had to adjust the price. Now, look, well, what I paid to get in there, yeah, I mean, when I got in there, I'm over 55, so I basically underneath a senior citizen. I can still get in and see the citizen. Sometimes they say, let's see your ID. It doesn't make a difference. But what they basically did, what it cost me to get in, it cost me a little bit more for the popcorn and everything else, because you can't bring none of that in. That's where they're making the money. The price is low, they get you on the other thing. Remember, you're out there to have a good time. When you're going out there, you're not looking at the prices. When you're on vacation, people like tourists. They're not looking at prices. They charge debit, credit card. They were when you go home. What the heck did we do? And we pay it off, and next year we start the whole process over again. Okay? All right. Now, consumer price evaluation process. All expectations of current prices. I look at that. You remember, it's my disposable income. How do I utilize it? The economy's getting better, so now I have a little more disposable income. I got the tax return from the administration. I don't care about the administration. And, you know, I got a little extra cash. And maybe ain't that bad. I don't like everything he does, but okay, I got some extra cash. How do I spend it? Okay? So I'm looking where that's going, okay? Acceptable pricing. We know how much we're willing to spend for a certain thing. It depends on my income, situational factors. I have a job. I worked overtime. Substitute of goods. What other sports I could go into. Cost of information search. Internet does that for me. I can find out different prices. And perception of value. Remember? The Cubs won the World Series. What if they don't win next year? Okay, well, that's 1 year. Yeah, remember the Blackhawks were doing good. They were winning the last couple of times. They lost, but you say, hey, they won. Maybe they'll win next time. Will you have those high-end people that are going to the Cubs because they're with the winners? And now the next 4 or 5 seasons, whether it's the GOAT, whether it's the Lamb, what the heck is this excuse? That's a marketing thing that they're losing. Are they going to dwindle off? And now you have to adjust your prices to bring in your core group that you might have alienated by raising them up too high for them. Very sensitive. Look at your core. Who is your customers? Remember? How is that price going to affect them? It's one part of the integrated marketing. Remember the 4 P's of marketing: price, promotion, product, and Yeah, price, promotion, product, and place. Oh, I forgot the four P's. Geez, Dr. George, give me a break. Okay, expectation of future pricing. Do I expect the price to be higher or lower in the future? I understand there can be some cost of living adjustment. I got a little raise, okay, remember, but don't make it so high to recoup everything else for your, for lack of better words, for your rebuilding or repositioning, reorganizing to get that money right away. You're going to alienate, you may lose some customers, and once they find a substitute, they may not come back to you. Or they'll come back to you but may not look at you in the same value because now they have two good products, two sports you want to watch during the same time. Only one of me. How do I share it? The same disposable income. Okay, and here's basically the graph. Basically, it tells you the same thing. It's only this thing. Remember, expectations, and here's the customers, acceptable price range. Okay, we're doing pretty good here. I want to make sure. Remember, the quick estimating consumer demand. Now, this is the hard part. Some of it you could do it through, there's programs out there, statistical analysis, that look at here and look how much price differentiation is going to change and what's the demand going to happen. You could take that in some of your stats class and some of your other courses that you may take at your college or community college or some of the classes I've taken or I'll teach. So I could estimate that. But that's only giving me from historical data. Here's what it was last year. What's going to happen this year? I got to look at demographic shift. There's a lot of different variables. I put that in. It's going to spit out something else. You go, okay. You still have to have that human element, that intuition. It doesn't tell you that loyalty. You can't put that loyalty. You could kind of put a percentage, but how loyal are your base? Will they be able to absorb that? Yeah, it's only another buck, another buck. It's not too bad. I can see I get a good, if I get a good feeling, I get a good value. People don't mind paying more if they feel they've got benefits, value for their money that they paid for to get in. Okay? Very good. Okay, and we did that. Okay, so now look at the legal issues, and then this is with price fixing and everything else. So I'm looking at the legal issue. You have this. I'm not going to go into it. Look at that at the book covered up by each section, and we discussed it real quickly in our discussion board, or we discussed it in our lecture. I'm not going to go into real quick. Just a quick overview. If not, look at it. Insert information. Tell you what to look out there. What's price fixing and everything else that we already know. It just tells us what law or rules or policies were enacted because somebody in marketing or in business was kind of crossing that line that was be legally acceptable. Okay? Okay, price adjustments. Let's see how many more we got. Oh, we're not too bad. Okay, price adjustments used to help achieve sales, right? I got to adjust. And those of you, most of you, some of you will be working in retail. When you're looking at retail, I've got a budget. I'm going to tie this into pricing. What I charge for my product, how many customers coming in, those of you taking me for intro to business or some other classes of finance, you have to find out what is an average customer coming in a week, what's an average customer coming in for the month, just like you know what your average bills are coming in, and you know how much my income is. If I got something like out of the ordinary, maybe now I'll work overtime. So when I'm looking at this price adjustment, if my price is too high, I'm losing customers, I have to adjust. You see a lot of companies when we're in an economic downturn, they adjust to the prices. The adjusted is just to break even. I'm making a profit. That means when I adjust the prices, I'm reducing my profit margin. And we talked earlier, the profit margin could be anything for a lot of businesses are probably a markup of 30 to like 60%. Depends. Some things even 300% when you look at furniture. But this is sports. Okay, so there's a markup on there. When you look at some of the data with the NFL, all everything that's going out there. And it's not only the kneeling and all that other stuff with the flag. It's also the head concussions. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to bring in a younger crowd. Because the older crowds, they're already there. They're the brand. They like the football. That's what they live this whole life. But then you get the younger generation coming in, and the parents are going, I don't want little Johnny, little Susie get their head hurt. So there's a lot of other issues. Then you had domestic violence. You got all those things are affecting the brand, affecting the sport. Well, he's a big football player. Look how he beats up this. I'm not condoning it, please. But you see the negative of the brand. That's why they have to resolve it real quickly, help it, and say now or get rid of the player. And you see sponsorships are dropped automatically because that's against the brand name. It hurts the brand. Here's a sponsor, and he has domestic. I had to throw that in because there should be no domestic violence. And when you look at domestic violence, when I teach HR, some of the other classes, people think domestic violence is basically a man over a woman. In a majority of cases, it is. But because of societal changes, there's a lot of domestic violence where it's the woman that is the violent individual coming again. So let's find the balance here. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I want to make the balance. Not acceptable. For a brand sponsor, not acceptable. That person's dropped like that. Because that's what society says. No, that's not acceptable. And this person's speaking for your organization. He's off just like that. Because you're associated with the brand. Okay? It has nothing to do with politics. Do you see what I'm talking about? This just has to do with the social responsibility and the values of a culture or demographic or a certain set of individuals. Okay? Okay, so we got that. Lowering the prices, and here's another link. You come in there. When do you lower the prices? But off in a nutshell, when I look at the NFL, all that going on there, they couldn't fill the stadiums. Stadiums are bound. Yeah, and there's some players that say, if they don't like it, let them go find someplace else. Wrong thing to say to your hardcore. Say, that's what they think of me. I'm paying your wages indirectly. Psh, I'm out of here. But they couldn't even give it. They dropped the thing from $100. They couldn't fill the stadiums at $10, $15. They're selling them. Couldn't even give them away. People would say, hey, heck, not all. Give me a ticket. I don't care. I'm in there. It's a game free. I look at the value of that. But other individuals may not. They may look at that and say, no, this is against my morals, against my ethics, and heck with it. And why did he want to fill the stadium? Because he want to bring that in and see, people aren't worried about this. They're not concerned about this. We have a full stadium. And that's not the case. Or you reduce the prices. You come in there with bleachers, seats, and they say, okay, come on right up in front. Because we want, when the camera see you, that the stadium is crowded. If it's crowded, it gives me that perceived perception. But how do I get them in? Lower the prices. And if you keep on lowering and lowering and you find out people aren't taking it, you've got other issues to bring that brand around. You got to address it. It's not going to go away. If you're going to keep the same pattern going. Remember, that's why you do your adjustment. And if I'm, where I talked before, when I'm looking at a budget. So I'm a store. I know how much I have to have each one. If for some reason I got a snowstorm, or I got a parade coming in here, I got something out for those 3 days that I don't have regular steady customers because of traffic congestions or working on the road, I have to adjust my prices. Go into a lot of the stores during the week. You have all your clearance stuff up there because those are my thrifty shoppers. On the weekend, I get the people who will pay the full price. The thrifty stuff goes out. The high end comes back in front. I'm adjusting for the day so I can make my break even point. I'm not making a profit. I'm just taking care of my expenses. So I have to be cognizant of what's going on with all those factors. I have to know if there's a recession. Disposable income is smaller. How do I bring them in? And how do I give tickets away? Maybe to help the children at the children's hospital. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things. McDonald's house. Maybe I'll throw in some extra thing as a sponsorship. Say we sponsor Ronald McDonald's house. You may not think Ronald McDonald. I don't think about McDonald's hamburgers. Hey, forget it. That's their product. That's what they're selling. They're selling fast food, but they're giving to a good cause. People like that. Okay? Look, once in a while we do like fast food. All right, so let's go. Price increases. This is the thing. Keep up with cost inflation, so you got to go up and don't gouge them because of excess demand of sports product, right? Or excess facility. If you look at pricing and everything else, a lot of the hotels, look, indirectly pricing, they succeeded when the Cubs won the World Series because people came in to watch it. So all the hotels, all the activities, economic activities around that whole thing, they were receptive to all that because they had more customers coming in. So my pricing went up. I maybe raised the price a little bit more on those games. Sold a little bit more with those shirts. Yeah. Am I gouging? No. The demand is for it. I increase my prices so I have the goods. But once you have to be considering, now they're not the World Series. Now they're coming in. And I kept the prices up there. May not work anymore. I have to be cognitive of what's going on. Okay, now reductions. And again, those are the increases. So there I can increase to get away with it. Reduction, stimulate demand. NFL, when they're trying to bring people into the stadium to make it look like there's no issue. Uh, Too much media coverage. It was already gone. And it's not only the mainstream media. Remember, a lot of the stuff that's going on was hashtag this, hashtag that. What the heck is this hashtag? Hashtag look at Dr. George's videos. Take Dr. George's class. That's a hashtag. That's part of marketing, social media, word of mouth. How do I respond to that? And should I respond? Is it a short term or is it a long term? And sometimes you raise the prices. Sometimes your competitor raise the price. I don't say nothing. Airlines do it all the time. And then what happens? Or another sports arena raises their price. And then people, they raise it by 10%. And that's okay. 10%, people got over it. I'm going to raise it by 8%. I don't need to raise it. But I've raised it up anyway. Why? Because, remember on an increase here? We're talking about a reduction now. I could raise it by 8% because my competitor did it. If my competitor lowers it by 8%, I'm going to have to follow suit unless I provide more value for them. Okay? Potential risky because, let's see, I forgot what it is. Multiple price reductions with inferior product and quality. Remember, consumer. A little different than business. We're taking it from marketing. Consumer price equates benefits, value, tangible and intangible. Remember that. Consumer. If I pay more, I expect, that's how you do. Pay this for average, better, best, high quality. I expect more prices. And sometimes it's not, the cost differential may be only maybe $1, but I'm charging you $30 more. Could I do that? Why not? Competition has it. Remember, it's my profit. You're willing to pay that. I'm not gouging you. I'm not doing that. It's not like this is the only product here. You have other choices. And I'm still lower than my competitors. All right, make it more difficult for consumers to establish a frame of references. So you don't want to do that too much because remember, you after a while, you already know the Cubs, they're lower. I expect them to go up. How much more with all this renovation? And it depends on the pricing. And we'll discuss that. I'll find that out when we do our discussion board. Yeah, I'm recording this before the discussion. This is a pre. I already know what I'm going to be doing in that. All right. So now when I look at price adjustments, incentives to offer to buyers, okay, to stimulate demand and reward them that are favorable to the seller by quantities. If you buy by larger, more tickets, or by seasonal ticket holders, you get a discount. But you have to. But then look, some people get those. There's only some seasonal ticket holders. Do you get the seasonal ticket holders? And what are they doing? They sell their tickets depending on the games to somebody else. Or to give them away. A lot of companies buy a season and give them away to their clients, their businesses, and they write it off. Me as an individual may get a season ticket holder. I'm not using it. I put it on eBay or something. Remember, but be careful when you buy those tickets on there on that also. Which some of them are scammers. You want to make sure it's legit. So I'm not trying to push, but you have to look at it. Remember, that's where I would increase the ticket price, or I discount it, whatever. Okay, so now the last one is pricing strategies. Differential pricing strategies. I have different pricing for different times of days. Look, and I talked about the matinee. I went to a matinee. And it was a day off because there's a lot of kids, so there's more. Usually when I go to matinee, very few people. People with real young kids, and people that are off. Prices are real low. Comparable. They're probably breaking even. They're already open. Let's make some few extra bucks they do for training, everything else, get everything ready. What the heck? Make sure everything's up. So, and then once it comes around 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, when you start getting that nighttime crowd or the weekend, prices are higher. You buy it online, it's a little bit cheaper. You buy it there, it costs a bit more. Okay? New sports product strategy, psychological pricing. Again, it's all it is for consumers. Psychological pricing, product mix pricing strategy. Again, remember when we talked about the product life cycle, growth. New product. And especially in sports marketing, it's not always with just here they talked about the stadiums and everything else, but also it could be like the goods you sell and everything else. I got a new type of T-shirt, Armor got a new T-shirt that will contain the sweat and everything else. Also got electronics in here, so it's a virtual T-shirt. It tells me, knocked over my coffee cup. It tells live again. I could have edited it. It tells me everything I need to know on that. All right, so we've got that cost-based pricing strategy. Basically, here's how much it costs me to do, and I add my profit margin. That kind of works in some product if it's new, but it doesn't work when you have competitors that offer similar product or goods and still has a good name. So you have to look at your expenses because competition is going to keep that line. Remember the equilibrium line? What customers feel that we talked before is a fair price. All right, I think I covered everything else in pricing. Let me see. Geez, I did pretty good. Oh, what happened? Get rid of that. I apologize for that. That was when I had the thing. Okay, so let's see what we do here. I'm done. I'm just going to basically come in here and expand it back down to one level, and I'll do a summarization. And if I look at the summarization, the view, and I'll bring it down to 150. And the program, for those who are looking at it, is MindJet. It's a program that interacts. I utilize this a lot. It's not that expensive. You get a service. For those who are into it, you could get some concept mapping programs free. You get what you pay for. This one works, integrates nice with Office, PowerPoint, Excel, everything else in there. I could bring it in and out, and it transforms it nicely. So it's well worth the money if you're going to do that. And it's the easier way of showing information, everything else. So what do we cover? We cover pricing concept, internal, external reasons why pricing. You look at the competitors. What are my objectives? Maybe just to get them in the store. It's always to make some profit or at least break even. Relationship with other marketing mix. That if I go with quality, how does it relate? External factors. I have to look at those. Laws, taxes, everything else is going on there. Consumer price evaluation. How do consumers look at prices? They look from historical. They look at their own. And they look at their own situation and everything else, and they look what the value they get, and they think if there's going to price increase, what do they think is a fair price increase? Remember, again, it goes with the product life cycle, and now with the Cubs with the new stadium, it's basically starting back up as a growth because they have a whole new venue. It's still the same Cubs per se. You know what I mean? But overall, they're the Cubs. Okay. Any kind of legal issues with pricing? Am I overcharging? Am I gouging? Have I done any kind of price fixing with my competitors? Price adjustments. We talk about when you adjustment. You have to be aware. You have to adjust them quickly. You don't wait to the year end. If you go, oh, I'm broke. You adjust it now. All right. Increases. When do I do increases? When do I do reductions? Why do I do discounts? And discounts basically, I set the quality of the price. This is my quality, and I know most people can't afford it because maybe economic downturn something happened. I'll give them coupons or promotions or sometimes discounted or give them something else to reduce the price. So in their mind, they say, "Hey, I've got a $75 ticket for $50, or I got $25 for $20. I got it for free." To me, man, I really made it out. Okay, and then different price strategies. Why do companies do that? All right, so that's it. Again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki. Thank you for listening to Chapter 12. We have one more chapter, I think Chapter 13. I think that basically ties everything in. Strategic management, that would be where you'd be doing your business plan or your strategy for your product or business that you've selected for this course. But otherwise, we're doing well. Again, I'm Dr. George Mochocki, and thank you for this quick overview. Remember, there's more in the book. There's more in the class. This is just a high level. We get more in depth reading, talking, discussion, networking, researching. That's how you understand pricing, and pricing depending on the area you're going to be marketing. Your customer base, you have to know who your customers are targeting, who's your solid, who you're bringing in. Are you bringing in a new market? Are you bringing in new demographics? How do I bring more people in? Are women more price sensitive than men? Remember, a lot of sports, not only all sports, for lack of better words, are trying to bring in more women into the venue. They're just like guys. They like to have a good time. They like to watch the sports. You know what I mean? Now, is it women basketball? Maybe. It doesn't make a difference. A sport's a sport. As long as you enjoy the sports and you get a good value and you get the team the team is fired up, you're fired up. You can't take that away. That intrinsic feeling. All right? I'll see you next time. Let's see how many minutes I got. I'm always curious on this. 48 minutes. I went a little bit over my a half an hour, but it's underneath an hour. Again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and I'll see you later. Bye.